I don't think it's fully sunk in. Think about it pretty much all day long, but yeah, I don't think it's fully sunk in yet. But it'll be tough when those last rows get taken off.
Hi, I'm Larry Nelson,
I'm Scott Nelson.
and we're at Nelson Grain Farms, Poinette, Wisconsin, and we're having our retirement auction December 8th. And this is kind of the middle of our farming operation right here. We venture both ways, east or west, 7 miles basically each direction. Been in the family since 1894. Scott and I are the 4th generation farmers of this farm. Our great grandfather came over from Norway. This was the first purchase of the Nelson Farms. Well, it's evolved over the years. When our father was here, when he first started out farming, he dairied for 5 years here, and wasn't his cup of tea. Then he went into beef, back in the early '60s, and he was running 300 beef head here up till about '65, when about the year I was born, I think 65, '66, he had a farm accident here, and got crippled up pretty bad from that accident, and actually he had to get out. He had to sell the livestock at that time and get out of farming for a while because he was laid up so bad. So he pursued a different career for a while, and then rented the farm out. Actually, then the 350 acres back then, and then as us kids got older, he bought some machinery starting out again in 1975 case, and wanted to expose us kids back to agriculture. So he started out then running just 80 acres of his own land here, and us kids, as we got older, he showed us the machinery and running it and whatnot, and then in the early '80s, late '70s, he took back his whole 350 acres and then started farming his own farm, but then just grain farmed it. And then when I came on in '83, we were still doing both businesses at that time, and like I said, we started expanding in '86, buying land and trying to make this a full-time job, and he just worked on that. I mean, when the opportunities arose, there was some piece of ground nearby or something that worked out fit into our fit into our farming technique or area. We tried to expand and get more land, and my dad always felt that by owning his own land, that's always secured your job, versus renting at that time, and there was a lot of land that came available, from the crash of the egg in the late '70s. There was a lot opportunity in the early '80s and on, so he kind of took advantage of all that and expanded it, and was able to grow the farm big enough so that we could be full-time farmers, and that's kind of where we evolved at. Like I said, just kept expanding over the years.
But he took major risks to make it work for us. I mean, he's the main reason that it grew to the size it is, because he just knew how to buy the land. He figured it out and did an excellent job at it. Bought good land. I helped out a little bit here and there. Dad didn't really know that I wanted to farm, and I went and got a 2-year associate degree at MATC, and after that, it was hard to find a job, and he asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him that I really wanted to farm. And so then he made room for me. So I was very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like I said, it's kind of an emotional thing for us because our father built, gave us the opportunity to farm and do this. And, without his going out, financially going out and buying land and making an opportunity for both Scott and I to farm, we wouldn't be doing this today or been able to do this. And it's, kind of emotional trying to think about, after all this, we're essentially shutting down the farm, And it's kind of a tough thing to wrap our heads around, too. Um, but we're definitely appreciative for everything that he's done for us and our mother. I mean, without those two, this farming operation wouldn't be what it is today by no means.
I think yeah, it'll be exciting, but also bittersweet. So
Well, I think it was just the timing for us was a good time. I mean, I this is 42 years for me farming, and our size farm in today's world is a little more difficult to compete. And we just decided the timing was right for us. We rented out our farm. We've done well with that. We've got good tenants, and there had some health issues too along the way that kind of contributed to the decision. But at the end of the day, it just made sense for myself and Scott that this was the time to move on, and rent the farm out.
yeah. Well, we're planning on moving to town. We just want to be closer to town, and right now I'm 10 miles away from anything, so just want to be closer to grocery stores. And then we're gonna do some traveling and try to do the United States as much as we can, and just enjoy what we can at this point.
There's a lot of things I'll miss about it. I enjoy the work. I like being busy. It's going to be different. I think I'll still stay busy, but I might have to work harder at that part of it. But uh, I just enjoy working with the machinery. I mean, it's been a big thing, and working with family. It's been a big part of my life all the way up till this point. So it'll be a different venture now. I guess, yeah, I'm looking forward to that day. I mean, we've had this goalpost for a while in front of us, and we're finally going to be there that day. I mean, really, all this preparation up to it, it's kind of a big deal, especially for us. So it is it's one of those goals you set in life, I guess. Kind of, that's a date that we got in our heads, and we've been moving that way for a while. I mean, we've scaled back, like I said, over the years, and we've been heading towards this final day, and it's something that him and I look forward to too. As there's been a lot of sacrifices over our lifetime to with farming, just like any other farmer. There's for me it was missing things that the kids did growing up, and at different times, tried to make everything I could, but there's some of the family life you sacrifice at certain points because at at the end of you only got these windows to work in with farming, and you you can't say, oh, I'll do that next week or whatever. If you've got the opportunity, you've got to accomplish it if you want to be successful in ag. It's got to be a priority to a degree. you know it's a balancing act, and like I say, every farmer goes through it. I think it's just going to take time for the reality of it to hit us, really. I mean, that way. I mean, it's a lifetime of work and whatnot, and it. I think, when things slow down, when December 8th comes, when the day's done, and we just kind of soak it all in. I think the following weeks is going to be probably a little challenging for us emotionally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, it's not just a sad day; it's a good day too, because it's our life accomplishments, and I mean everybody. I mean, everybody's goal is someday to retire and enjoy the things you couldn't do when you're working. I mean, it's no different what occupation you're in. You always have you're always busy doing what you do, you know. And this is something every person I would think has a goal to retire sometime, and then to enjoy, you know, the those golden years, so to speak.
And it's interesting that, you know, it takes your whole life to get to where you are, and then auction day comes and everything's done in one day. So, I mean, it's unbelievable that can all be gone in one day. So, but that's how things run.